Tony Orlando was in town last weekend and he sat down with me, and even if you're too young to know his music, I think you'll find him interesting. In this excerpt, he talks about some of the musicians he worked with very early on when he was just a teenager, and it sounds like the plaques in a room in the Rock Hall of Fame.
Paul Simon would drive Carole King to high school. Paul Simon and Neil Sedaka and myself and the Tokens, Lion Sleeps Tonight, all grew up together, all in the same office. Neil Diamond, Paul Simon, Neil Sedaka, Carole King, Bobby Darin, Connie Francis, and myself. And we were all teenagers then, hoping to make it in this business in 1961. Then, of course, we all had our hits. But in 63 and 64, the British invasion came in, and I was out of work. It was over. So I went to work for Clive Davis, ran the music division for him. I was 23, earned my way up to vice president at Columbia Records. I signed Barry Manilow, produced his first records, had Yardbirds, Blood, Sweat and Tears, a great Canadian group that I represented in those days. James Taylor, the same. So it was a great experience for me to sit behind the desk.
And then you became a star.
And then I backed into it. I recorded Candida as a favor for a friend of mine. Tony Wine, who's still in my band, wrote the song. And I did it as a favor that hopefully he'd be able to pay his rent. The record became #1.
Oh, my Candida, we could make it together. The further from here, girl, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean. Whoa, my Candida.
Then came Knock 3 times, 2 #1 records in a row. I went to Clive and said, it's time for me to leave and seek the dream that I had since I'm a kid. Got a television show in '73 with CBS in the States and here in Canada. And the show was a big hit for us. And we had a great run. So it's my 55th year in show business this year. Wow. And I'm still 2 years younger than Paul McCartney, so I'll always be a kid. You're 2 years younger than the Beatles, you're a kid, right?
Oh, my darling, knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me. Twice I'll reply if the answer is no.
You were here back in the mid-1970s.
Yeah.
My wife was a teenager at the time. She won tickets to that concert. Wow. You told me something about what you did after that concert, which tells you a lot about the difference in pop music then and now. You were big enough to sell out a hockey rink, 16,000, 18,000 fans, but then you made an offer.
It was such a great audience, but Vancouver audiences have always been great. Throughout my whole career, and that's not just backstage talk. You guys are great to people when they perform here. So my first time in Vancouver, I'm with Thelma and Joyce, Dawn. We're sold out. The show went great. So I said to the audience, anybody that wants to sign an autograph, I'll be sitting over at that table right over there. So 8 hours later.
Literally 8 hours?
I'm not lying to you, 8 hours. And Thelma, who you've all seen on Family Matters and Give Me a Break, she went on to a great sitcom career.
And she was one of the backup singers.
She's the sassy one in the group. And she's sitting there and she's signing on, and all I kept hearing was, you're going to hear about this back at the hotel. I'm going to kill you. Don't you ever do that again. You're going to die when you get home. 8 hours later, we were signing, and our arms were falling off, but it was worth it.
I'm coming home, I've done my time. Now I've got to know what is and isn't mine. If you receive my letter telling you I'd soon be free, then you'll know just what to do if you still want me.
Well, just one of the many hits from veteran pop star Tony Orlando. He dropped by our newsroom last Friday night, and tonight we have part 2 of our interview. If you're an aspiring musician in particular, listen closely. He has some tips on how to stand out in the music business today. Are there any lessons for musicians today from what you went through?
You have to be better today. You have to be better today. The young people today, and the young musician and the young artists make us look silly.
See, that's interesting, because sometimes people of older generations look back and say, music now is terrible.
No. These kids that you see on The Voice and on American Idol, they're ridiculous. They're just ridiculous. They out-sing, from my generation, everybody that comes on to sing with them. Why? Because they have gotten it from every source. They've gotten it from the internet. They got it from movies. They got it from everywhere. I mean, they can sing more soulful today than ever. No, today you really have to, when you do a video, you better know how to dance. When you do a video, you better know how to treat that camera. You have to know how to act today. To that young person today, they have to get their act together. It can't be a freak accident. You can't make it just because you're cute.
'Cause I couldn't bear to see what I might see. I'm really still in prison in my love, she holds the key.
There was a time in my day you could make it because you were cute, you know, because the girls liked you. But today you really have to have the talent, really, you really do.
And for somebody who's watching, younger than me, doesn't really know your music, is thinking about maybe listening to this guy, like he seems interesting, what should they listen to?
Everything.
But of yours, what should they listen to?
No, they shouldn't just listen to any one thing. They should listen to me, to my stuff, because I was really a pop artist at the time, and we were going against the grain. When we came on, you had Led Zeppelin coming from the left and Cream coming from the right, and there's Tony, Orlando, and Dawn, where they come from. And so, with Yellow Ribbon and Knock 3 Times.
On the ceiling if you want me. Twice on the pipe. If the answer is no.
But you should listen to everything. I believe that if you take in rhythm and blues, country, pop, classical, if you take everything and you hone it into what your talent is, and then find yourself where you sit best in there, but collect it all. Be a sponge. Don't just sit with one kind of music. Don't think it's uncool to listen to something like that's not in for your friends. That's the person you should listen to. You know, if it's Justin Bieber, you go, I don't listen to Justin Bieber anymore. Well, you listen to Justin Bieber. You know what? He's a talented kid. He has his problems, but that boy can, he can put down some jazz and rhythm and blues when he wants to. He's only just the very tip of his talent. So in my opinion, young people today, if you're watching this show and you come out of this interview with anything, forget who I am, you won't know. Call your grandmother. But this is the truth, okay? If you come to the Hard Rock and you saw me Saturday night, tomorrow night at the Hard Rock.
You're always with the plug,
Well,
yeah.
No, it's not the plug. I'm answering a question. If you come, I'm answering a question.
Okay.
I'll tell you why.
All right.
Because you'll see us do everything. You'll see us do Led Zeppelin. You'll see us do Candida, Knock 3 Times, the hits that we had. You'll see us do things that you don't expect from us. You'll see us do things that we wrote. The girl in my group, Tony Wine, wrote Groovy Kind of Love and Candida. She wrote it for Phil Collins. She also was married to a producer, produced all the Elvis Presley records. So as much as you can get into your head, your heart, musically, will produce that final product. And I'm still learning, so hang with me.
It's a real pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.